Goedemorgen, nog altijd. Ja. Even een aantal zaken aan het prepareren. Is dat een beetje gelukt met of met het spelen met de animaties? Wel belangrijk natuurlijk, het is gewoon spelenderwijs, vooral dat je moet gaan werken. Eerst even zelf. Ja, in het begin is het een beetje moeilijker, maar eens dat je ermee weg bent, valt dat wel goed mee hoor. Goed. Voorbereidingen zijn getroffen. Alright. Weer al, ik ga alles wel re-editen. Eens dat we zover zijn. Goed. Exercise 4. Was dat die navigatie? Vanaf dat je met navigatie begint, dan inderdaad... Ik zeg het, als er iets u makkelijker lijkt, ga gerust naar een andere oefening, hoor. Dat is echt geen probleem. Ja, wel die spans. Ja, nth child, hè. Nth child. Ik zal die straks nog wel eens uitleggen, dat is geen probleem. Dat kan ik wel nog eens doen. Maar jullie krijgen ook al logica. En dit is zo een van de voorbeelden van... een van de delen van de materie die eigenlijk... gaat bepalen, zo van, als je de voorbeelden ziet, van, oké, zo doe dat. De code zelf is niet complex, het is gewoon het uitdenken dat moeilijk is. Vergeleken met JavaScript zelf, daar kan nog wel wat voor een functie gebruikt die hier. Bij CSS hier is het redelijk gelimiteerd. Je hebt maar een paar kenwoorden die dat je gaat hergebruiken, transition, transform, en dat is het eigenlijk. Goed. Animation en keyframes. Even pauze laten. Alright, welcome back to the second part of CSS Animations. Well, first we saw transitions and transforms. And of course, we can do some very cool stuff with that. Makes you feel like a CSS god, as if it were. Now, it's only limited in the sense that you can only do so much with transition and transform. It's only a basic part of animation. Now, if you want to have loops, if you want to have multiple animations, if you want to have stages in which things move across the screen, now that's where we get into actual CSS animations and keyframes. Now, to create an animation, we are going to make a keyframe, or at least add keyframes. That's the keyword that we are going to be using. We call this an animation rule. Now, in this rule, we are going to define what the different steps in that animation are going to be. Now, the add keyframes and then a name that you like. Again, this is of your own choosing. So moving, we are going to make a moving cube that moves to the right and to the bottom, for example, eventually. And I will extend this in the demo after the slides. So add keyframes, the keyword, and then the name. And then, of course, we start again with the CSS syntax with the curly brackets. The basic rule here is from to. So where do we start? What is the first thing that we are going to do? And where are we going to? So in the beginning, we are going to translate 0. We are not going to do anything, but that's our starting position. So the transform, as we just saw, makes an element like transform in one of 4 different ways. It either scales, translates, skews, or rotates. In this case, translate moves it across the field or across your view. Endpoint of the animation, as you can see, 2, which is another property in there. And then in there, we can do a transform, translate x, 800 pixels. You can do more in that. Of course, that's going to be the key. Say that in the meantime, during the transform, you want the background color of that element also to change from red to blue. Well, you add that to the to or add that to the from object as well. An example of this, we have a div. Again, a div, just a simple div in our basic HTML page, which has a fixed width and height, 150 pixels. It has a background color of blue-violet, which is wrong. It should be hot pink anyway. The color is white if we put some text in between. And then, of course, the animation. You don't see any transition here whatsoever. You see animation. So that changes a bit. So the transition before said that if a certain property changes, then use a transition with a certain delay, with a certain time code, over 4 seconds, for example. Here, everything is coded into the keyframe, into the animation. All right. Animation, hey, again, new properties, animation name. Which one are we going to be using? It will be using at keyframes moving. So as you can see here, animation name, moving. And then, of course, the length of the animation will be 3 seconds, which, if we look back to the previous material, from starts at 0 seconds and to will be the result at 3 seconds at the end of the animation. All right. And this will be the results. So animation move from 0 to 800 pixels on the x-axis for 3 seconds. You also see a specific speed. Fast, slower, fast, slower. That's the speed. It's ease, I think. Now, multiple stages, of course, are preferred. From and to is good, but if you only have one step, then you can use basically a transition constantly. Now, only if you, of course, if you are not looping. So instead of using from and to, we can use multiple stages, as you can see in the beginning. Again, you can take these slides, you can read them at your own leisure after the session. But you might see here at the 0%, you can see 50% and 100%, which means that if our animation is 6 seconds, for example, here we are at 0 seconds, so it will be at their starting location. 50% of 6 seconds, the half is 3 seconds. So at 3 seconds, it will transform to the X position of 800 pixels. And at 100%, at the end of the 6 seconds, it will translate to 800 pixels and 500 pixels on the Y axis. Now, this is very important. Now, this will not translate 800 pixels. This will not shift further. This is very important to understand. So it's going to move to the right, 800 pixels, and by the end, it's going to stay on that 800 pixels and just move to the bottom, as in 500 pixels on the y-axis. An example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In 3 seconds, basically, it goes from this base, 1, 2, 3. Okay, something like that. So 0 to 800, and then 500 to the bottom. That's basically my animation. It's a very basic square. That's it. Of course, this is about over 3 seconds. So 50. This is 1.5 seconds on the x-axis. Next, we have a fill mode. As you might have seen, this is quite jarring. As in, oh, nice animation. Oh, it goes down. Back. It's like there is no easy way. Well, there is an easy way, but there is no nice way here to finish our animation or to keep looping. This keeps looping, that's okay, but you have that jarring effect of like reset it to the beginning. We can change that, of course. We can use the fill mode property to define the values of an element outside of the animation rule. So first of all, how are we going to end our animation, or how is it going to work? Now, animation fill mode forwards, which means the element stays at the last frame of the animation. It just stays, in this case, at the bottom here, and it waits there. It doesn't reset. Backwards means that the first frame of the animation is only going to be shown if the delay is finished. So if you have a delay of like 5 seconds, it's not going to be at that position 0 after that until that 5 seconds is done. While if you use both, then of course both are applied. You can test that with I will show those in the demo as well. Now, iteration count, I think, is more interesting and much more used, as in how many iterations are you going to be doing? Are you going to create an infinite loop? For example, an infinite loop, here it's allowed. Don't listen to Peter Dix for the dev courses. Infinite loops are allowed in CSS because it's awesome. So a loading animation, you want that to keep looping on the animation until your data has been triggered or has been provided by an API. You don't know how long that's going to take. You can put 3 iteration counts in here. It's going to loop 3 times and then it's going to stop. No, you want infinite and you want to stop the animation until something else happens. So I had the question on why no JavaScript. Again, you know enough JavaScript that if you look up the way to interact with animation in CSS, it will be nothing new. It's quite easy. The thing is that, for example, stopping an animation with JavaScript is built into the JavaScript API. That's why you would use JavaScript. So, for example, hide the animation, hide stuff like that. It's removing a class with document get element by ID, add class or add property or add attribute, remove attribute, all those things. Okay. So again, we'll focus on CSS. Looping, we have looping. And then we have timing function. As you saw in the beginning, my box went from, it started right out of the gates and then eased up until the end, just like it eased out and slowly came to its endpoint. You have multiple results here, ease in, ease out, and linear. Again, try with that. The direction. This might be, in combination with loops, the thing we want to test out the most. As in, normal behavior means we're going from 0 to 100%. Reverse is actually, we're going to start from 100% and go back to 0. So your loop is going to basically be reversed in what you want. A question from the chat. Is there a way to repeat your animation but only after it's done, instead of just letting it loop infinitely? Yes. So this is where we are at the moment. So direction, I think that's what you mean. So you basically can say, if you have a loop, you can do alternate, for example. So you can, my box with alternate, I think it will be easier if I show you in the demo. I'm going to go back to my box. If I do alternate infinite loop, it will go from here to right, bottom, top, left, right, bottom, top, left. It keeps going back and forth. So Tom, I don't know if that explains what you want, what you are asking. Is there a way to repeat your animation, but only after it's done, instead of just letting it loop infinitely? Define when it's done. Because if you repeat it infinitely, then yeah, it's only going to go back to 0% and repeat its loop after it's reached 100%. It's going to always complete the whole cycle of the animation. We will dive into a demo in a second, and then I think it will be much easier. And then, just as margins and paddings and everything else in CSS, you can do shorthand. Now, the order does not matter, except for the 2 numbers. So the first number of seconds that is going to come across, that's the duration. And the second number is going to be the delay. You can put 3 seconds, 1 second, linear, infinite, reverse, moving, and it will still work. Just the order of the seconds is important. If you only put 1, then it's only the duration and there is no delay. Okay? All right. Going to grab my code here. Example slides. I'm going to set up my demo, what I have from the slides. So in my div, give me a second. All right, so we have a div here, example slides. Yes, this is what I want. So example slides here. Let me take a look. Bam. So with the question, I took a look at the next exercises already and found that the lightning one started playing again before the first animation even started. I'm going to take a look at the lightning one. Define the first animation. I don't really know what you mean. So we're going from L to G. It stops then, and then it goes back. This is an infinite loop. Okay. Let's take a look at the box, will we? Now, I'm going to be, of course, just, again, going over with it with you guys. With 150. Height 150. What else? Background color, of course, hot pink. Color white if you want to have some text in it. And of course, an animation. Here we can make an animation, but first you need to make the animation, as in add keyframes, moving. And we're going to make two. From. And I will keep it one-liners. And from to, and that should be doing it. So again, from, we're going to translate the transform. I really like this part more. Transform, and we're going to translate on the x-axis for, let's say, 500 pixels. Transform. We're gonna translate on the 0 first. We're gonna start at 0, and then we are going to translate x on 500 pixels. We have our keyframe. Let's first check if we have our live server. Hot pink cube, of course. And then we have to implement that animation, as in we're going to use it. So animation. As you can see here, I can do a shorthand, but for the first demo, I will use multiple things. So the animation name will be moving, and the animation duration will be 3 seconds, I think. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to have space to spare. And I have, like, it happened once, as you can see. The hot pink cube only performed once. I think I have some more left. 1, and it resets. So again, now we can start playing with those tests. So again, I will move from right to bottom. Let's make it move in a circle. I think that that might be cool. Now, with the knowledge you have here, you should be able to let it move in a circle, like 900, like each time. In the chat, let me know what do I have to change to my animation if I want to make it move in a circle, as in move in a square. So to the right 900, to the bottom 900, to the left 900, to the top 900. Give me some ideas of, yes, Sika, whoever that is. I have to start working with percentages, correct. So I'm going to rework this a bit. I'm going to work with 0%. having a good microphone is one thing, but like having it shoving in your face constantly is something else. 25%, I will copy paste this. 50, 75, 100. 50, oh my God, everything is crashing. Now, you see, this doesn't do anything more. This doesn't, like, it only moves to the side. Now, if I want to change this, I can do. I'm just gonna keep. Ooh. And now we get into the fun stuff. So this is what I meant with it moves to the Y. What I will do is 900. 900. Aha, the second step is okay. The third step, again, step by step. Going to the right, going to the bottom, then, so we have 0, 0, 0, 900, 900, 900. Coordinates here are 0, 900, because the X value is 0. Some good old math. And then here it's 0, 0. Perfect. Amazing. CSS gods we are. Now we can do some more stuff. Okay, now we have the percentages. We can add multiple things. Let me check. What else do I have here? The animation fill mode with a delay. We can do a delay, I think. Yep. Delay of 2 seconds. And then it starts. Backwards will be here. Now, I think I'm going to change this to 500 just to make sure we have an end screen, and then we can check what it does. Voila. And then it resets. I think if I do this forwards, it will stay on that last screen. Et voila. Now we have, now you can make something. Can you make it do a little spin? Oh man. Can I make it do a little spin? What do you think? You tell me how to spin it. Let's say that each time it moves from side to side, it does a complete spin. How do I do that? You should know it. Of course. I honestly do not know. I have a feeling that I have a feeling on how to do it, but again, help me. How should I do this? How do I spin from one side in the, yeah, transform, rotate. So let's make it change in here, transform. I assume you can do the same thing. Transform, rotate, and then 360 degrees, right? 360 degrees. Uh-oh, I think I maybe need to add. Can I add another parameter? See? This is what I told you. Oh my gosh. Now, something interesting happened. You know what? I will let it continue. Give me a second. Give me a second. What I will do, I will translate, okay, fine by me. Now, I'm going to leave the fill mode. I'm not going to make a delay. I don't need those. But what I want now is iteration count. Infinite. I'm going to 4 seconds, so a second for each element. 1, 2, 3, 4. What happens here? What happens here that is give me a second. Like, I don't like that my square is clipping, as you can see. 50. So again, let's try. Let's just play with it, you know? Let's just play with it. 50. Amazing. Oh, there's 750. I think we have it now. Yeah. No, I think it's okay. Now, one thing, look as it goes down. We don't have a rotate specified, as you might see. We see it rotating here. I will let it. So as you might think, to the right, it rotates 360 degrees, and then it rotates back. That's because it goes back to the same position as before. So let's leave it like that and add some more spinning to it. So I think that this will be spin to the clockwise, spin to the counterclockwise, spin clockwise, spin counterclockwise, and now we have it spinning. Again, we can add more things now. Oh. Back to hot pink. And now we have thing. Now the cool thing is that you can go nuts. You can go really nuts. Like, oh my gosh. You know what's fun to see is that now we see the 3 primary colors. I don't know if you noticed. You see the well, I see it on my recording. I see 3 things flicker, the yellow, blue, and red, I assume. And on my screen, because I have a higher refresh rate, I have 144 Hertz, I see way more. So this is basically like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. This is so cool. I will stop it now. Okay, oh, that's still too, oof, makes me nervous. All right, so we have a couple of things now. All right. Now we have a cool element, and now we have our first actual animation. What else can I show you from the slides that I can incorporate in here? We saw the fill mode. We see the iteration count, the timing function. That might be interesting. I will put 8 seconds. It's a bit slower, of course, but now you see this is ease. Animation. Animation. Timing function. Cubic braziers, you don't need those. Let's see ease in out. So now you see fast, slow, fast, slow. And now you see slow, fast, slow. Maybe. Yep. This is ease in, ease out. Linear should come to no surprise. That's just basically a bouncing ball. This is already, like, make this smaller. Have the like there's an exercise in the guy's thing that he has. I'm gonna stop this for a second. There's an exercise in the, how should I say it, in the guy's in his not a tutorial, his course, that he has this square counterfeited with 4 other divs, and it has like 4 different cubes, like yellow, red, blue, brown, for example. And then while he's animating that, the cubic, like, they come out of it. It's like it's like it explodes, they twirl, and they come back together. And that's also very cool to do. I think if we search for that, we can definitely do that here. Of course, we are CSS gods, are we not? But still, I think that's something cool for you to try out. I will try it out after the session. Like, there's so much you can do with this. It's not even funny anymore. It's not even funny anymore. All right. Do I have anything else? So ease in, ease out, linear. You can play with that. I like the ease in outs. And then we have the animation direction. I'm gonna put it on infinite. And the animation direction, of course, you can let it bounce back. Oh, animation not direction. Direction. Alternate. So now it keeps going back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again back. CSS Gods merch should be something I would do with the podcast, but that would be an inside joke inside a niche product, which is very, very much hard to do. All right, we have direction. We have, oh, the shorthand. Yeah, let's do the shorthand now to finish everything up. So this makes things a bit easier once you are accustomed to it. Let's make our cube a bit boring now by actually doing nothing. And then we can do animation. As you can, oh my God, CSS code, you're so good. Moving, I think, oh, tab, amazing. 4 seconds. The timing function that I have is ease in, ease out, ease in, out. Delay, I do not want to delay. Iteration count, infinite. Direction, alternate. And no fill mode. Et voila. We have our animation. I think I lost my border as well. Done. So you can do so much more. You can make this a circle if you want. So voila, this is your basic demo in CSS Animations. I hope you are all on the path of becoming a true CSS god. Again, where is it? I don't have my solutions. Here, sorry. So there are some things to reconsider. This also, CSS animations also have way less impact on your performance of your browser as well. So 8. So you have something here that's an infinite. It's basically a from to. A from to, as in you have the button, you have a square, a before element that you skew a bit to the side so it looks like that. And you animate that from 0 to or something minus, so it's off to the left. Always work with overflow not hidden, because overflow hidden makes it sure that you don't see outside of the button, but always work without the overflow so you know where your element is. That's a good tip that I realized last year. So use that, and then of course if you hover over it, then you have to do something with that square, as in make it bigger, stuff like that. Next up, you have a picture that you can or should be looping constantly, infinitely from place to place. There's some tricks with pictures and infinite repeat, stuff like that, things you've done in the past with CSS that you have to apply here. Here, you're working with the Z-axis. You have an animation that's constantly rolling, but there's something in front of it. That's basically, you need to look at this as two different layers. The lightning one, I'm going to leave that to you. I looked at the code again, and it's quite cool. Like, you have not only the blinking of the element, but as you might see in 11, it's an LI element. So you can, again, nth child, it's basically the same trick you did with the menu, with the different spans. It's the same here. You light up each element on a specific timing in the animation. Before you start with all the letters, just start with one letter. Make one letter go like pink, yellow, pink, well, hot pink, of course. Hot pink, yellow, constantly. And then make sure you work on the timing on each individual element, or all letters at the same time. And then after that, you work on the individual parts. Exercise 12 that's the 3D animation. So again, it's just transforms. I think this is the most easy one, because you've already worked with those transforms and rotates and translates. This is just the same, but like I said, on the Z-axis. All right. Now you can go to the canvas environment, in which you will download the second zip file with all the exercises like this. There are only 5, but of course you need a bit more. If you want to start easy, go with 12. I think 12 is the most easy one. And go like, there's less CSS here available in the beginning than the previous exercise. You have to put some background color on it. Use the flex grid again, just like you did last time. Are there any questions before I close up this? Again, I am available for questions, of course. Do you want me to make one of those exercises at the end of the session? Or you say, nah, I'll figure it out and I'll look at the solutions? Put it in chat. If so, which one? Also important. Something from the previous one, something from this. What do you want to see? There is no new milestone today. I think I will keep it, since there is only 3 lessons. I think there's a small milestone next week. I think I'm going to do that, because you need to be able to host your website. So something with hosting. Still need to figure out the best way possible, of course. But still. There's a very small milestone that can be done if you understand what you're doing, in an hour. So. Any questions? Any requests? Does it need to twirl more? The lightning one? We're gonna ride the lightning? Sure, I can do the lightning one. That's the one that I was most intrigued by as well once I did the exercise. Like I said, he has like 80 or 90 exercises, and when I saw this, I'm like, okay, I want to make this and I want to understand this, and it gives you an idea on how to work with multiple elements. Good for me. If there are no questions, you can go. I will keep experimenting. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Oh.
Is dat tomatensoep?
Nee,
Paprikasoep, nee?
ook niet.
Tomaatpaprikasoep.
Nee, proef anderszins.
Oké. Oh, dat is pikant, zeg.
Het zal wel zijn. Dat is een spicy chili-soepje.
Kan jij raden welke soep foodie Steffi Vertriest maakt met frigorestjes? Doe mee aan de WhatsApp Challenge en win 1 van de 10 Domo soepmakers 2,2 liter. Kijk op domoactions.be.
Domo Electro, een feest in huis.
Perspromo bij Audi. Voor de lekkerste boomstammetjes moet je niet naar het bos.
Voilà. Bij deze, voor de lekkerste boomstammetjes moet je niet naar het bos. Dus ik ga het hierbij laten. Voilà, dus het is gelukt, hè. Nu, ik heb gisteren die oefening al sowieso nog bekeken, dus het zat nog wat in mijn geheugen. Het is een beetje prutsen. Dus voor degenen die er nog zijn, die de uitleg willen, heel kort. Ik ga het even op pauze zetten. Voilà. Dus wat ik heb is eigenlijk een vierkant met dus een div met 4 spans in. In die div, dus die div zelf, die Body uiteraard, alles justifies in het midden. Een leukere achtergrond dan wit. Die in div zelf heb ik pixels gegeven. Ik heb het iets groter gezet, zodat ik op 100% tenminste kan draaien, dat het niet helemaal ingezoomd moet zijn. In het begin zet ik dat, had hij dat ook aangezet, maar dan zie je effectief wat er gebeurt. Dus weer al, dat is een beetje gelijk die overflow hidden. Voilà. Dus dat is deze eigenlijk. Dus je ziet dat die constant uitbreidt. En die boxen blijven eigenlijk in de hoeken dankzij die top en left. Dus die boxen zelf, top en left, dat is met absolute positioning. Weer al, ik ben geen krak daarin, maar uiteraard top left, dan plakt dat tegen de linkerkant. Dat is mijn gele hier. Ik heb die getransformeerd. Dus in het begin stond die zo, voilà. Dus dan stond die vierkant, daarmee begonnen, heb ik die 45 graden gedraaid. Dan krijg je dat diamanteffect. En dan een animatie, uiteraard expand, 2 seconden infinite. Dus het expand hier is van 0, dus van 500 naar 57, terug naar 500. Ease in, out. Dus snel starten, traag in het midden. En dan traag op het einde. Goed. Dat is een expand. En dan hebben we, dus dat is de main. En dan hebben we een span, dus dat zijn al die 4 spans, die hebben allemaal een positie absoluut, vandaar dat je daarmee kunt werken. Ik vermoed dat je dan... Kun je dat zo doen? Nee, wat is dan 100 pixels? Kun je met pixels werken? Ah, voilà, kijk. Wacht, hè. Ik ga even een keer met een twirl stoppen. Dan is dat misschien makkelijker. Twirl... En transform een keer stoppen. Voilà. Dus inderdaad, top, dat is 100 pixels van de top van waarin dat je zit. En dan left is 100 pixels van het left, neem ik aan. Ja, voilà, oké. Dus zo werkt dat. Goed. Dus 0, inderdaad, afhankelijk van uw positie. Het is in het element. Vandaar dat deze positie absoluut is. En dan kun je die effectief, of op basis van de hoek van uw vierkant waarin je aan het werken bent, kun je daarmee gaan afwerken. 4 spans, nth child, dus de vierde span, uiteraard, dat is de blauwe. Die geef ik dan blue-violet. En dan de hot pink, uiteraard. Crimson hier rechtsbovenaan. Zo heb ik mijn 4 spans. Is top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Oké, dus die 4. En dan op span. Dus eerst en vooral heb ik de expand gemaakt. Je kunt daar veel meer gaan experimenteren, maar die expand laat dan toe dat die je gaat in- en uitademen. Zo gezegd. Dat die groter en kleiner gaat worden. Groter, kleiner, groter, kleiner. We gaan die roteren. En dan de twirl zelf. Daar kun je een beetje mee spelen, maar je wilt zo niet. Dus ik heb het hier een beetje... hij deed dat ook. Ik heb misschien andere cijfers. In het begin hou ik die op 0. Waarom? Omdat je anders van 0 naar 90 en dan beginnen die al te draaien nog voordat ze uit elkaars buurt zijn. Kijk, als ik die zou wegdoen, ik ga even terug die ook op infinite doen. Infinite, ik ga alles 3 seconden maken, dat we iets meer tijd hebben om het te bekijken. Dus je ziet, ze komen eruit en ze raken elkaar niet op de rand. Terwijl als ik deze zou wegdoen, je ziet, raken ze elkaar al. En dat is dan minder mooi. Zie je? Dat is niet wat ik wil. Dus ik kan zelfs nog naar 20% gaan. Hop, dat ze meer op het einde draaien. Je kunt dan nog timen dan al vanaf het moment dat ze in de helft zijn, zeg maar. Op 50% dat ze dan pas beginnen draaien. Wacht, dus bijvoorbeeld 50. Dat is op het einde. En dan draaien ze naar binnen daarin. Uit... naar binnen daarin. Dit is een animatie dat je heel vaak ziet. Hè? Dus ik ga even tot 25%. Hup. Voilà. Dus dat is natuurlijker, zeg maar. En nu kun je erop beginnen werken. En dus die achtergrond doe je dan weg, nu dat je weet hoe dat werkt. Geen commentaar bijvoorbeeld. En dan heb je effectief deze animatie die je kunt laten runnen, zoveel als je wilt. Goed. De oefeningen of de oplossingen komen online begin volgend werkcollege. Als ze nog niet online staan, vraag je het mij. Het is maar gewoon een link activeren. Maar dat laat u toe om toch nog even verder te zoeken en ermee te experimenteren, indien gewenst. Goed? Als er geen vragen meer zijn van de personen die momenteel online zijn, dan wens ik iedereen nog een leuke namiddag toe. En tot volgende week. vergeet in de tussentijd niet te werken ook aan je werkstuk, zijnde gewoon meer en meer af te werken. Hè? Dus gewoon extra features toevoegen. Goed, tot later. Bye.